Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'al li waziran min ahli Haruna akhi ushdud bihi azri washriku fi amri kay nusabbihaka kaseera wa nadhkuraka kaseera innaka kunta bina basira. حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. All right, welcome dear friends. Inshallah, we will continue our discussion from the 25th word, which is on the miracle of the Qur'an, and we were on that conciseness of the Qur'an, basically to give us meaning that we can benefit from, inshallah. So last time we looked at basically a few verses, and we looked at the ones that mentions the creation of the heavens and the earth, and we saw there were some verses that mentioned the earth before the heavens as well. So we located a few of those verses, around 14 of them, it is said by that have the other order mentioning the earth first and then the heavens. So we said that depending on the context, the words in the Quran are very carefully placed and are purposefully placed. So we need to pay attention to that. So the example of the heavens and the earth is to start from the macro, the big thing, the heavens, to and start observing the micro, the smaller, the things that we experience on earth, right? So we experience personally. So this is reversed in a few places where the context changes. So depending on the context, either it's the earth and the heavens, or the heavens or the earth to signify another context. But just pay attention that we need to pay attention that they are carefully and purposefully placed in the order that either heavens or earth or heavens, right? Of course, in generally, all of that is for my witnessing to see the signs of my Creator that are visible in the whole universe. But sometimes by mentioning the earth, it could be my personal to look at myself and my. So there's some other aspect that may be emphasized that I need to pay attention to. So we will continue with the next example of the verse in terms of conciseness, right? So of course, just wanted to highlight he was mentioning about the chain of proofs. Basically, so it gives one thing, for example, by giving the letter A and the letter Z, the first letter of the alphabet and then the last, and we kind of have to fill in the blanks in between. So, but it conveys the whole message that it wants to convey, and it leaves it open for us to work on it and flexible in a way, as long as it fits within the context of the whole message of the Quran, right? So we'll continue reading. And for example, send me therefore, O Joseph, O man of truth, which is a verse from in the Quran from section 12, verse 46. So between send me therefore and O Joseph, right? So between those are these words, Joseph, that I may ask him. So the author is filling in that between these words, what is implied or could be stated, Joseph, that I may ask him to interpret the dream. So I sent him, and he went to the prison and said to Joseph, that is to say, although 5 sentences have been abbreviated and summarized in one sentence, it does not mar the clarity or hinder the understanding. Right, so let's look at this verse 1246. There we go, 1246, which is this one. right? And then the translation, he said, Joseph, O man of truth, interpret for us the dream of 7 fat cows eaten up by 70 skinny ones, and 7 green ears of grain and 7 others dry, so that I may return to the people and let them know. So basically, in this, and the, let's see, where's the, oops, that is going back here. Yeah, so here, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يوسف أيها الصديق افتنا في سبع بقرات سمان يأكلهن سبع إجاف وسبع سنبلات خضر وآخر يا what is that? يابسات لعل لعلي أرجع إلى الناس لعلهم يعلمون. يابسات, yeah. Okay. So this is basically a very comprehensive, that's what the author kind of is, oops, sharing. I can't click on it, it goes to another page. So between those phrases, O Joseph, right? So there's in short phrases, there's a lot that needs to be taken away, like in terms of understood. But everything is abbreviated and summarized in one sentence. But so we have to do the work in studying. So the translation is just one start for us. It doesn't convey the whole message or the meaning. So it just gives us the clue in terms of where to start, a general picture, and then we have to fill in the blanks to understand how it relates to the message of the Quran. Anybody would like to comment or share their thoughts on this, of the conciseness, abbreviation, and summary in one sentence? But so the understanding still is there basically. So it doesn't give all the details that, oh, so he went to him and to the prison, and all those things are not really mentioned, right? Okay, I'll continue then. So, Brother Ali, please go ahead.
Yeah, in between, the the man came who was in the palace and asked for the king to give him permission to go out to the prison. So he went and knocked at the door of the prison, and the prison keeper guardian said, "Who are you?" And then king sent me, "How do I know? Here is the paper." and, and then looked for Joseph, and he found him there. And then these are all skipped. And we see that many things are not taught. The story is not given in details, but it doesn't really prevent us from getting the message. Yeah. Now send me. Uh, you said this 1246, but now if you go back, uh, no, go back to the Quran. Send me. So no, back, previous, and show me the Arabic, shared Arabic. Yeah, one verse before. Oh, but you cannot do this. Yeah, in this. Oh, which page is it? Excuse me, which page is it?
This
İslam,
is
İslam.
Islamic.
Yeah, you can. You can
Yes.
go back. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ نَجَا مِنْهُمَا. This is the previous one.
Previous verse, yes.
Let me see.
I can go to 24, 20, 1244.
Now, which one
Uh,
is the قالوا أضعفنا أحلام وما نحن بتأويل. Uh-huh. And 45? It was my mistake. I should just hold on. وقال الذين نجا منها وادكر بعد أمة أنا أنبئكم بتأويله. ها فأرسلوني. Now, in this word, فأرسلوني. Now, the man is in the kitchen. Read the translation. One of the translation.
Finally, the surviving ex-prisoner remembered Joseph
Yeah.
after a long time and said, I will tell you its interpretation to send me forth to Joseph.
Now, this word to send me forth is in the previous verse, and then in between. Uh, uh, we found that if you like, the camera, the film's scenery. Now the camera is in the court, king's court, and then the king said, "Okay, I'll send you," and then all the things are skipped. Directly we go and see the man speaking to Joseph. That is why the link between the send me and many things must have happened there, not mentioned. And then speaking to Joseph, saying that, oh, Yusuf, now follow the first. Now, although Joseph, oh man, truth, how did you come here? What happened in between are not mentioned. Did you get it? Did I explain it properly?
Yes, yes. A
So
lot of the details that go happened after from the palace to the prison are not mentioned,
now
basically.
this one 70 to 79. I mean the references 1246. It
Hmm.
is missing 1245 and 6.
I see. Yeah,
Now
12.
there is no Ersuluni. There is no Ersuluni in 2045.
Right. So this one,
1245. I'm sorry.
right. So this one, the surviving ex-prisoner remembered Joseph after a long time.
And
So
then send me forth.
yeah, and this is in the basically happening in the palace, basically.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
we found him speaking directly to Joseph in prison. What happened in between? Not
Right.
mentioned. It's not important.
Right.
King issued a decree, and he took the decree, went to the kitchen, went to the prison, and asked for permission. Oh, these are not mentioned. But never 45 and 46 follows each other, the verses, but we don't miss the point. That is the difference between the Quran and Torah. Now, 45? No. Yes, that is it now. We understand. Send me thereof, or I don't know which kind of translation, but send me to Joseph. That's it. And speaking to Joseph, you see, in between nothing is told. That is why people wonder what happened. No, he said, send me. Did the king said yes or no? These are just human curiosity. But doesn't help us to
So
understand the message.
it's stated in the Torah, like all those details.
So I don't know in this specific case,
I see.
but Torah gives the whole story, even tells the name of the king, name of the man. I mean, makes up, of course, uh, just from old stories, like the telling the children stories, making it excited in details. But Quran gives the message only. And without disturbing the mind that I didn't understand what's going on. You can easily understand. There is no need to mention. Do you feel uncomfortable here? Send me to Joseph. And the man speaks. Oh Joseph, man of truth. Now, mission is fulfilled. I
Got
don't
it. Yeah.
need between information.
Correct. Agreed. I mean, the critics say that, right? Mostly that it's missing the details or information, but that's not the point of that.
Unnecessary, unnecessary.
Mm.
And learning doesn't give you any benefit. For example, Ibrahim's father, look at the conversation between them. And when you look at, when you go and read in Torah, I'm not really blaming Torah, it's not our subject. But go there, his name was Azar. And some historians, even the Muslim historians, said Azar was his father. No, no, no. He was. He was in uncle. There are many information, a lot of information in the classical tafsir taken from Torah. What am I going to do whether he's his father or uncle? None of my business. My business is anybody who has some sort of authority over me and tells me that I have to follow the tradition of the community. And I am free to reject it. That's what Abraham is representing for me. Whether even he is my father, he is my uncle, but the Muslims, of course, being zealot, it's very, very big problem. They love to make the prophets perfect, perfect, perfect example. Yes, they are perfect example. They are perfect example with fighting with their parents as well. No, no, no. A prophet's father cannot be an idolater. Do you see what I mean? Why? Who said that? There were many companions of the prophet, and their fathers were pagans or enemy of the prophet, and their son fought against their father. What's wrong with it? Depends on father. Okay, we respect, but if he rejects your religion and tries to kill you, you have to do something. Or if he calls you to something which doesn't make sense for you, as the Quran says, don't obey them. That is what the Quranic method.
Yep. Thank you for the example. Good.
Giving this is what culture. This Eastern culture respects family. Yes, we have to. That is correct. And respects the elderly. Yes, that is correct. But not at the expense of my faith. No, at the expense of my money, okay, I can pay, but not my faith. I cannot sacrifice my faith, because my mother wanted me or brother wanted me to do this and that. No, I cannot play with my akhirah, eternal life. But I can respect them in worldly life, as the Quran says. In your worldly affairs, treat them in a customary way. No, ma'ruf, ma'ruf. As it is known in the custom, what are you expected to do in this custom of the society? Do it in this way, but not in faith or something is connected to your religious life. For example, you want to study Arabic, and in order to study Quran, God forbid, and I don't think none of us is subject to this example here, your father or mother says, study, let's say, I don't know which languages, Chinese. Why? Because China is developing. New technology is going to be under the control of China. So you have to get a job in China. So learn Chinese. I say, but I want to study the Quran. And I can survive with what I am doing. And he says, no, study English or Chinese. And you must easily say, no, I'm not going to obey you. That's what Quran orders. Don't obey them. But treat them nicely. Speak to them, no, I cannot do it, my father, please. That's it. No, but I can. Take a sharp stand. That's what Quran advises. But people say, Prophet Abraham cannot disobey his father. No, it must be his uncle. Why? Uncles are like fathers. Come on, what? Just made up story. You understand that, inshallah. Thank you.
Wow, inshallah, yeah. But one has to know that, basically, right? That these are made of stories.
We are not after story here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quran is not teaching story. That's what we have to understand the prophetic narrations or examples in the Quran, not as a story.
Inshallah, thank you. That was very good. And for example, who produces for you fire from the green tree? Which is a verse from section 36, verse 80. So fire from the green tree, which is this verse. Let's see. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون. He is the one who gives you fire from green trees, and behold, you kindle fire from them. Here the Quran is saying, in the face of rebellious man's denials, who is as though challenging the Quran by saying, who will raise to life rotten bones? Whoever created them in the first place, he will raise them to life. And that creator knows every single aspect of every single thing. Furthermore, he who provides fire for you from the green tree is able to give life to dry bones. Thus, the sentence looks in numerous ways to the claim that man will be raised to life, looks to resurrection and proves it. So, just by mentioning this phrase, who produces for you fire from the green tree, right? So, as an analogy, or looking at creation, basically, universe, that, yeah, even though anyone who is questioning, okay, how come there is going to be resurrection, like all these bones that upon death are just they just rot away in the soil, right? So pay attention to whoever gave you. So all this is kind of not explicitly stated, but in this verse can be said, right? Whoever although in some verse it does say that whoever created them in the first place, he will raise them to life. And that creator knows every single aspect of every single being. Right? So the same one who provides from the green trees is able to give life. Whoever gives you fire from the green trees. So look at the tree, and then on burning, creation changes amazingly, right? From one form to another, from a green tree to coal, black, right? So the same change, does that change can change the dry bones into and give it a renewal, is able to give life. So technically, or in belief aspect, this one is basically mentioning about the pillar of belief, about the belief in resurrection in a way. Just by stating this, it is trying to confirm that whoever's the reader confirm that, okay, question it, look at it, observe it, see what's going on in the creation at every moment. There is resurrection happening in front of your eyes. So be at peace, be at ease that you're not going to be left rotting in the soil, but you are going to be resurrected. Brother Ali, please go ahead.
It this verse is going to be explained in the following paragraphs. But before this, have we ever thought that we take it for granted? Have we ever thought that how fire is created out of wood? Fire is created out of wood. Impossible to say that wood has fire in it. Here is the wood. And think about any kind of wood, your table, your, I don't know, wood made, whatever it is. Yeah, it is so amazing, miracle, obvious. Like, for example, bone is like wood, but out of wood, the one out of wood. Creating fire, it's completely different nature. Has nothing to do with wood characters or wood qualities. And coal qualities, for example, fire is created out of coal. Fire is created out of fuel, gas.
Right, gas and yeah,
Yeah, but
fuel.
everything. How amazing it is. But we think that, wood burns. That's what materialist thing. Wood burns? What do you mean wood burns? Well, out of wood, light is created, heat is created out of wood. Out of wood, light is created. Yeah, the human beings must go crazy. How come it's happening? That is miraculous creation. And there will be further explanation, but first pay attention. Opposite nature characteristics of two things, like body and spirit, like body and life, and like life and spirit, emotions, for example, feelings, life, but feelings has nothing to do with them. Completely different nature. We don't get amazed really at these kind of creations. Familiarity, yeah, the most important enemies of human beings. One is familiarity, the other one is negligence. We have to watch out. Thank you.
Inshallah. Okay, so we'll continue firstly with these words, the words in the verse. The Quran starts off the chain of bounties it lays before man. Right? So these words, right? The tree, fire, behold, it lays before man all the bounties, right? Moves it forward and calls it to mind. So start reflecting, thinking about it, be amazed. Having described it in detail in other verses, it cuts short the description here and refers to the intelligence and reasoning to think about it. That is, you cannot flee from the one who gives you fruit and fire from trees, sustenance and seeds from plants, cereals and grains from the earth, and makes the earth a fine cradle for you filled with all your sustenance, and the world a palace in which is found all your needs. You cannot be independent of him or disappear into non-existence and hide there. You cannot enter the grave without duties to sleep in comfort not to be awoken. Right, so the one who is reading this has to think about all these words and phrases that the verses are saying and get the meaning behind them. Right, so it's laying out, basically describing, yes, look at this, the green tree that you have out of wood, as Brother Ali was explaining, fire or even fruits coming out of that wood. That's just mind-boggling.
Light, heat, heating.
Yeah.
Out of fuel, we get heat. What is it? What is it to do with fuel? Heat is completely different nature. And together with heat, another completely different nature, light. We should go crazy for myself. I don't. Why? Familiarity. Gas burns. Look at gas burns. Why? No, very dangerous. We have to watch out.
Wow, inshallah. Yeah, I found this sentence was interesting. You cannot enter the grave without duties to sleep in comfort, not to be awoken. Right? Describing like one cannot just be with familiarity, get lost in just materialism. You have to be awake and realize all this. Okay, let's continue. Then the verse points out an evidence of the claim. With the words, the green tree, the verse implies, O you who deny resurrection, look at the trees. Wow, just by looking at the trees. One who raises to life and makes green in spring, numberless bone-like trees, I see, which have been dead throughout winter. And in every tree even demonstrates three examples of resurrection through the leaves, blossoms, and fruit. The power of such a one cannot be challenged through denial or by considering resurrection improbable. So there's evidence out there to the claim of the green tree, so one has to look at it, pay attention to it, not take it for granted, and see how in spring all those from bone wood-like trees, green things are appearing, blossoming fruits, flowers, leaves, all signs of resurrection, examples of resurrection. Then it points out another evidence, saying, how do you deem it unlikely that one who extracts for you out of dense, heavy, dark matter like a tree, subtle light, luminous manner, in a luminous manner, like fire, should give fire like life, and light like consciousness to wood like bones. So out of dark, dense matter like a wood, something light, subtle and light, right? And fire, completely different existence. Then it states another evidence explicitly. It says, the verse says, one who creates the famous tree, which while green, which while green produces fire for nomads in place of matches, when two of its branches are rubbed together, and combines two opposites like the green and damp and the dry and hot, and makes them the source of the fire. Everything, even the fundamental elements, looks to his command and acts through his power. So everything looks to his command and acts through his power. It cannot be considered unlikely of the one who demonstrates that none of these is independent and acts of its own accord, that he should raise up man from the earth once again, who was made from earth and later returns to the earth. He may not be challenged with rebellion. So all these meanings, these evidences, these signs are coming from just these comprehensive phrase or verse. All right. Any comments so far? Other comment to add to this or anything else what we spoke about? So every being looks to his command and acts through his power. So all these different changes or resurrections that are happening in terms of the examples follow his command and act according to his power. So impossible for man to challenge that. There is no resurrection. Okay, so no comments, so I can continue then. Then, recalling Moses's, peace be upon him, famous tree, it shows that this claim of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is also that of Moses, peace be upon him as well. Lightly alluding to the consensus of the prophets, it adds one more subtle point to the phrase. So the consensus of the in the message of the prophets mentioning, so by recalling even the Moses' story with the burning bush or the tree, the famous tree where he received revelation. So it and the verse that the prophet peace and blessing be upon him brings from in the Quran. So they're pretty much the same in terms of signifying that yes, there must be resurrection. Definitely look at the signs in creation that point to it. Brother Ali, please go ahead.
Can we bring up from Islam Awakening, 28th, verse 29?
Which verse? 28 and 29?
28th is the section number,
Okay.
and 29 is the verse number.
Okay, sure. 28 and 29.
No, Qasas. Now, verse
Verses here.
29. Yeah. Now, to translation,
So when Moses had completed the term and was traveling with his family, he spotted a fire on the side of Mount Tur. He said to his family, "Stay here, for I have spotted a fire. Perhaps from there I can bring you some directions or a torch from the fire, so you may warm yourselves."
look, look at this wonderful description of it. Now, let's go to the 29, 30. Following verse. Following. Next. Next. Now,
Right. So, but when he came to the fire, a voice called from the right side of the valley, from the tree on the blessed spot,
yeah.
"Moses, I am God, Lord of the worlds."
Look at this. Now, look at the story. Now, what happened? Uh, Moses went to Midian and got married there. It's a wonderful story, very meaningful. And after fulfilling his promise to his father-in-law and left the family, now went into wilderness, wilderness, or how do you pronounce it?
Yep, that's
Uh,
correct.
oh, sorry?
That is correct. Yes, how you said
Yeah,
it.
wilderness. Okay. And of course, in uh, desert life, at night, it is very hot, cold, maybe depending on the season, but some seasons are really very cold and some in daytime is hot. Now, how we can visualize now in our imagination a family in a desert they don't know where to go, what to do, where you really warm up, feel secure in their life. And look at this physical description, but it is spiritual message. When you don't feel secure, and Moses, go back to the first one, 29. Hmm. Now, Moses says, completed the term. We understand had completed the term means his promise to his wife's father or family, and was traveling with his family, right? He spotted a fire on the side of mountain tour. Now, this is what burning bush, famous. That's why the text says famous tree. Now, Mount Sinai, Mount Tour, is the symbol of reception of the revelation. Now we have to be careful. But how did he receive the message there? Why there in Mount Tour? Wherever it is, doesn't matter. We are trying to understand the message. And he said to his family, stay here, for I have spotted a fire. I've seen a fire. Look, fire. Perhaps from there, of course, look, what is the solution now? Because they are lonely, they don't know where to go. It is dark. It means meaningless life representing. And he spotted the fire. Where? So I can bring you some directions or torch. Now, where to go and get fire. so you may warm yourself. It means feel comfortable. Now, of course, this is what? The fire here represents the way of salvation for human beings. How did you find it? We can go to the following verse. Now, when he came out to eat, he was called from the bush, from the tree, in the sacred ground, because he is looking not at the tree as a bone, as a wood. He is looking at the tree giving light, representing what? The angelic side of the creation. When you pay attention to the tree, you will find the burning bush there. It means message is coming to you, right? Message is coming to you. Now, O Moses, it is true, I am God. Now, what your conclusion? This tree cannot be the source of fire, life, heat, fruit, purposeful creation. Wood cannot be. So only the one, go back to the Arabic, not go, Arabic text, Rabbul Alameen. Inna Allahu Rabbul Alameen. What you found in the Malakut side, angelic side of the tree, is giving you news about the creator of the whole universe. That his message is received. As far as I am concerned, as far as the prophet is concerned, he will receive the verbal explanation, verbal description of this message. But I'm not going to expect, I'm not going, I'm not expecting to receive verbal explanation of it. I am expecting by reading the Quran how Moses received the message by getting the fire from a wood, a piece of wood, by analyzing its angelic side, seeing that this wood cannot be the source of existence of fruit, the sustenance, for source of existence of heat that I need now. I am cold. It means human expectations, human serious desires, and warmth so that I will feel comfortable in my existence. Now we have to understand that why he saw the tree. What is it to do with receiving the message? Do you get this transition? What is it to do with receiving the message from God? And God is saying that, Inni an Allah. I am your God. Look, feel في البقعة المباركة مباركة من الشجرة من الشجرة from the tree. And look, this voice is saying, Ya Musa, inni ana Rabbul Alamin. What you understand from the way the tree is created is only me, the creator of the whole universe, introducing myself to you. Look at this beautiful message. If only we don't read the Quran as a storybook, history book, telling the life of Moses. Nothing to do with it. But we have to open up. Why this tree is mentioned here? What is it to do with receiving the message? We have to ask this. It is not a story. beautiful way of describing simply for those people who look for fire and warmth, comfort in their existence. Beautiful. I mean, only a miraculous way of explanation is possible to educate people for those people who are looking for guidance. But if someone is reading the Quran to get the information what happened to Moses, they don't pay attention to this tree at all. What is it to do with tree here? What is it to do with seeing the fire there? Now, Jews read this story exactly. They have burning bush, of course, in their story. Moses saw this, and then there was a fire there. He got the fire. What am I going to do with bodily comfort? I need spiritual comfort, eternal comfort. Wow, it is just amazing, amazing way of teaching people. Only those who can pay attention can get it. Otherwise, they just try to get the story.
Oh, you muted yourself, Brother Ali.
Yeah, that I'm done. Thank you.
So we have to pay attention basically to the when we look at creation, take a look at the tree or the sky, the bird.
Also, while reading the Quran,
Yeah.
we should say what we should ask this question: what is it to do with the tree? And God calls him. Why tree is mentioned? Nothing is mentioned in the Quran for nothing. No word, no one letter is mentioned in the Quran for nothing. Why Mubarak?
Yeah, the blessed. I was gonna
Yeah,
ask that.
why?
Blessed.
Because the existence of every tree is a source of barakah, increase. You see the wood, you get infinite knowledge about the creator, owner of the universe out of this wood. How can it be not Mubarak? Source of barakah, source of increase. How can that be? It must be Mubarak. That's why all creation is Mubarak. That's what God describes himself. Tabarakalladhi biyadihil mulk. Everything he created is full of barakah. But we have to learn how to get this barakah in the existence of everything.
Inshallah. So pay attention to the angelic side of everything. See the meaning behind it.
Read the Quran accordingly. Yeah? There is a correlation between them. And
Very,
if
yeah.
if you like, angelic side of the stories must be read in the Quran. Got it?
Yes, inshallah. Got it.
Angelic side of the stories, not the story themselves.
This is beautiful way of, yeah, benefiting from all the prophetic experiences or the mentioning that are there in the Quran. If we see they're angelic, the way the things are angelic, and realizing what the message behind them is. MashaAllah. Okay, so any other comments or thoughts on this? The consensus of the prophets. All right. The fourth glow. Should we go into the fourth glow? So the Quran's conciseness is so comprehensive and wonderful that when studied carefully, so this is what we need to do, it becomes apparent that sometimes through some simple detail, through some simple detail or particular event, so with the verse that we just looked at, it compassionately shows to simple, ordinary minds most extensive, lengthy, universal rules and general laws, like showing an ocean in an ewer, which is a pitcher or a jug for water. So the whole ocean in an ewer. That's how the miraculous and conciseness is. Concise and comprehensive at the same time, which is strange, right? Concise, how can it be so comprehensive when it's concise? But that's how the verses are. Yeah, think should we go into, we have 2 minutes, but I think we can stop here for today in terms of reflect on how we need to really engage with the Quran, inshallah. I like this. Compassionately shows to simple, ordinary minds most extensive, lengthy, universal rules and general laws. Right? So within the, but then the condition is that we study it carefully, not just look at the translation and just go through it, but really reflect on it, think about it, question it from the evidence out there in the universe that is presented, inshallah. All right. Any final thoughts or comments by anyone? Okay, somebody says with introspection, how it relates to me, yes, within my individual introspecting it. What does it have to do with me by telling me all this, basically? Why is it mentioning, for example, the tree, right? And the blessed, everything that is created, basically. I have to see what the blessings are in that creation. Inshallah, beautiful verses to reflect on, inshallah. So we'll stop here, inshallah. We'll continue with the fourth glow and start from the first example to see the conciseness and comprehensiveness at the same time. All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana innaka anta al-alimul hakim. Wa akhra da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen bil hurmati surat al-Fatiha.